Hi, and welcome to our first ever online Young Archaeologists Club session. And today we're going to have a go at some pot making. So, hello to all our regular members, and if you're joining us for the first time, welcome. And we hope that you're all happy, safe, and keeping occupied. If you're not a branch member, but you'd like to join, there's some information in the video description below that explains how you can become a member. Now then, there is an information sheet which accompanies this video. And we sent that out to all our branch members. If you haven't got a copy, again, if you look in the video description, there's a link there where you can download the information sheet. Now that information sheet will tell you everything you need to know about this activity. It'll tell you all the materials you need, and there are also some really nice examples of pots and pottery that Gwynedd Archaeological Trust have found and recorded as part of their archaeological work. Now the examples we look at are from Parc Cubby. Now that's a business park near Holyhead on the island of Anglesey. Welsh Government developed this business park, but before they developed the business park, Gwynedd Archaeological Trust went and recorded all the archaeology that was there. And we found loads of amazing archaeology, including, as I mentioned, some really nice examples of Bronze Age and Neolithic pottery. Now we're not going to copy those pots from Parc Cubby when we make our pots, but we will use them as inspiration for our pot making. The pots from Parc Cubby were probably coil pots, so they would have been made by joining together sausages of clay. But we're going to use a different process. We're going to make pinch pots. Now we're going to use that technique because I think it's a little bit easier. I certainly find it easier making pinch pots as opposed to coil pots, but we might have a go at making coil pots in a future session. Okay, so let's assume that you've read the information sheet, you've got all your materials together, you've found out about some of those lovely examples of pots and pieces of pottery that Gwynedd Archaeological Trust have found. I think we're ready to go. Let's make our own pot. So we need to make a nice round ball of clay, about this size. We do that by shaping the clay using our hands. If there are any bumps or lumps in the surface of the clay, as you can see, I'm just using my thumbs and fingers to smooth them out. And by doing this, we're also warming the clay up, making it nice and soft, because we are about to make a hole in the top of our ball of clay. So I'm going to use my thumb to make a hole. I'm just going to push my thumb into the top of the clay. If you think you're going to hurt your thumb, you can use something else to start the hole off. But I'm using my thumb, and I'm pushing my thumb about halfway in to the ball of clay. And then very gently, I'm just squeezing the sides of the pot between my fingers and thumb, moving the pot round, pinching the sides of the pot, making sure that the sides of the pot are all the same thickness so that everything is nice and even. Now, if there are any little cracks or lines in your clay at this point, you can just smooth them out like I'm doing there. Gently smooth them out, then carry on pinching and squeezing, moving the pot round making sure that the sides of the pot are all the same thickness, squeezing between my fingers and thumb. So it's starting to look like a pot now. You might get quite dirty hands doing this, so make sure you give your hands a good wash after the activity. And I'm also just smoothing the outside of the pot as well. If there are any lumps or bumps on the outside of the pot, you can just smooth them away using your thumb. Any little cracks, any little lines that are still there, smooth them out. Making sure that the surface of the pot is as smooth as it can be. And another thing you can do, if you want to make sure the bottom of your pot is nice and flat, you can just give it a little tap on your work surface. You can tap the top of the pot as well onto your work surface. And we just want the pot to sit nice and evenly on a flat surface. That's why I'm doing that. Giving it a final squeeze. Just making sure I'm happy with the shape of my pot. Any little lines that are left, smooth them out. You can also smooth the inside of the pot as well, using your fingers or your thumb. And I think I'm just about ready now to start decorating my pot. Yeah, I'm fairly happy with that. So I think we'll begin the pattern making process now. So to begin with, I'm going to use my thumbnail. And I'm going to try and make a nice zigzag pattern all the way around the top of the pot. So I'm just very gently pushing my thumbnail into the surface of the clay, and I'm going to carry on with this pattern all the way around the top of the pot. So there we go. There's that zigzag pattern all the way around the top of the pot. And next I'm going to use this. This is a piece of dead vegetation. It's the stalk of something, I think. Found that in the garden. And I cut it to size. And very carefully, I'm going to push the end into the surface of the clay. And I'm making these sort of bumpy circle shapes in the clay underneath the zigzag. So I've carried on with those bumpy circles all the way around the pot. And next I'm going to use a biro lid, the top of a biro lid. And I'm going to push that into the clay and make these little circles inside the pattern which I made using the piece of vegetation. Again, working my way round the pot. So there we go. I continued with that pattern all the way round the pot. And next I'm going to use the actual biro. I'm going to use the pointy end of the biro, the part you write with. Don't use a biro that's important to anyone though, because you might not be able to write with it afterwards. But I'm just going to use the end of the biro to make these dots inside the circles which I made with the biro lid. So I've worked my way around the pot. I've put dots in all those circles. And next I'm going to use a cockle shell. I found this on the beach, and I'm going to use the bumpy edge of the shell to make these rather nice patterns in the clay. And look at the way I'm just rolling the edge of the shell across the surface of the clay. I'm going to pick up the biro lid again, and I'm going to make some more circles in the surface of the clay. Just 3 circles in a line, like that. You don't have to push very hard. The biro lid leaves a nice, neat circle. I'm going to use the actual biro again to just put dots inside the circles, working my way around the pot so that the pattern goes all the way around the pot. This is a piece of slate which I found in the garden, and I'm just going to use a pointy end of the piece of slate to just make 2 marks in the clay, working my way around the pot, continuing the pattern all the way around the pot. And next I think we'll go back to the biro, and I'm going to make a line of dots underneath these circles. Now remember that I'm making all this up as I go along. You don't have to copy us exactly if you don't want to. You can do if you like, but you can be creative, you can be inventive, you can come up with your own designs. The most important thing is that you enjoy taking part in the activity. So back to the piece of vegetation, and I'm just going to put some shapes in here. So just pushing gently into the surface of the clay, working my way around the pot. I'm being careful how I hold the pot now, because what I don't want to do is smudge the designs which I've already done. So back with the biro nib, and I'm just putting some dots inside the shapes I made using the piece of vegetation. If you make a mistake, look, I make a deliberate mistake like that, don't worry. If you make a mark that you're not happy with, you can just smooth it out like that using your thumb or your finger. So don't worry too much if you make a mistake, because you can rectify it. And we're nearly finished now. And one of the last things I'm going to do is just going to make this line of dots, which are all quite close together, all the way around the top of the pot. If you find it easier at this stage to rest your pot on your work surface rather than holding it, you can do that. And there we go. I added a few more dots with a piece of straw which I had, but I think that's just about ready. And the next thing we need to do is leave the pot somewhere to dry. It's air drying clay, so it'll probably take about 1.5 days to dry. So I'm going to leave my pot on my windowsill. I just want to say again that you don't have to copy what we did. As I mentioned, you can be creative, you can be inventive. You don't even have to make a pot at all if you don't want to. I made these designs on a smaller piece of clay which I rolled out on my work surface. Now, if you're going to do that though, you do need to be careful how you pick the clay up once it's dried, because it's quite thin and you don't want to crack your piece of clay. And it's also worth remembering that I used a nice big piece of plastic sheet on my table so that I didn't mark the wood. And you don't have to use the things that we use to make patterns. I made these patterns using the top of a shampoo bottle. Just make sure that you don't use anything sharp or pointy in your pattern making. You don't want to hurt your fingers. Of course, if you don't have any air drying clay or any modelling material, you can improvise. I made this pattern on a piece of blue tack, which I squidged out onto the table. And of course, if you've only got a little bit of modelling material or you're sharing with someone, you could always make a little pot like this. So here's my finished pot. That took about 2 days to dry. Remember that it's air drying clay, so it doesn't need heat to harden. Remember too that the examples of pottery we look at in the information sheet were used to hold food and drink. Best not to use your pot to eat and drink out of. But there's all sorts of other things you could use it for. As you can see, I'm using mine to keep some pieces of sea glass in. And there we go. I think we're just about done. Thank you very much for joining us. If you did make a pot, send us a picture so we can see it. And as I mentioned earlier, if you're interested in becoming a member of the Bangor branch of the Young Archaeologists Club, you just need to get in contact with us. Our contact details are in the video description below. Okay, thank you very much and bye for now.